Okay, great. So, I think I know everyone here. And I mean, if you don't know me, I'm Micah Sami. And over lockdown, I started doing meditation videos and putting them out on YouTube. Actually, not on YouTube. I started with Facebook, and now I've got a YouTube channel and I've got Spotify. But I started meditating when I was 14, and I started, as I say in a lot of my meditation videos, I started because I had insomnia as a child, which really helped me. But the benefits of meditation actually led to many more benefits than I ever thought it would. Because I was also a very anxious person, pretty much all of my life, very fearful, very paranoid, and I definitely, I mean, in general, I think that part of my way of looking at things at the moment is generally to just be more detached from a sense of I am this or I am that. Because when we get into narratives of ourselves, we tend to end up sometimes creating these prisons which don't allow us to actually express more fully, because we go, okay, I am this kind of person. And so you kind of pigeonhole yourself, and actually you can be whatever you want to be if you kind of create the narrative that is different to the one you've always been stuck with. But when we create a narrative for ourselves, a lot of the time, we end up then getting feedback from people and them going, okay, yeah, they describe themselves like that, and that's kind of how I see them. But long story short, yeah, meditation has helped massively. And the reason I'm doing this talk today is specifically to talk about how I deal with my stress and how I deal with being a uni student and having pressure. And it's funny because today, I mean, everything's synchronized, but today I released a meditation about external validation, because what I realized recently was that a lot of what the school system has done, as well as many other systems in society, is created an experience in us where we have sought external validation in order to experience self-worth. And so with grades, um, that is a massive way of saying, your worth comes from me telling you you've done well, and not a sense of personal achievement from something you've done inwardly. And for those of us, we don't realize, oh, actually, I've been in a space in my life where I've kind of not been able to escape being told that external validation is what I need in order to progress in life. Because in order to do well, usually it's getting the right grade and being told that that is something that is good, and then going on and having the doors open for you, and the doors shut if what you want to do is going into higher education, and you're told, you don't make the criteria that is supposedly what we should ascribe to. And so I think a big part of releasing the tension that school brings about in us is knowing that we are worth so much more than what anyone could ever tell us we are, and realizing that we're completely unique, and that in itself is something to be proud of and to celebrate. But also at the same time, there are pressures that come from outside of ourselves, and it's so valid to want to do well, because everyone wants to be successful and also to do well in something they care about. And that is completely fair enough. But the problem is when that pressure overrides the work that we're doing. And so, as opposed to actually putting our heart and allowing our creative juices to flow, um, we are stressed about how it's going to come out, and stressed about the outcome, and stressed about time. And time is something that I think as a student is very, very it is very much thought about, because we get given a timing to do things, and we get given things that we're supposed to do without really questioning much why we're doing them. You get given sets of text that's given to you by a teacher because that's what they're interested in, and you go, okay, I'll just get to the end of this and I will be free of my work and free of my obligations. But actually, what I've realized coming to a university level is that we are, at the same time as being set things, we're here to learn how to creatively express from our own unique perspective. And that means that we don't need to do all the readings. And I was always, all my life, the person who would tick every tiny box and, like, always finish a book, always get to the last page, just because I felt the need to finish, not because I was enjoying it. Like, I'm kind of interested in quantum physics a tiny bit, and I read a whole book on it, and I was so bored, and I didn't understand 90% of the book, but I was like, I'm going to finish the book because I have to finish it. And now, I haven't finished a book in so long, and it's because actually you're able to absorb so much information if you enjoy it, and if you take it off in little chunks of a time. Like, I read the book Sapiens a couple of years ago, and I can't remember most of it, but I remember one chapter that I read at my friend's house before reading the book, and then going away and going, okay, I want to read this book now. And I remember that chapter so vividly, and it was 6 pages. Maybe the chapter wasn't 6 pages, but I read 6 pages of the chapter. Um, And so actually sometimes absorbing information works better when we don't finish something because we aren't, working against ourselves. And another thing I found as well is a lot of the time when we have resistance to something, so our body's telling us stop. Like today, Ruby was like, okay, 2 p.m., I'm done. And she listened to her body and she didn't resist that feeling. A lot of the time when we follow that ease, it's much easier to actually access a sense of stillness and calm in the work that we have to do. But when our bodies are tight and we have deadlines to fix and we're up at 4 a.m. and there's a coffee and there's all this stress, um, you know, we aren't expressing how we want to, and our bodies are paying the price for it. And I think as students, and in general in our society, the mind is definitely prized over the body. And we say, okay, I'm going to get to the end of this and I will feel a sense of mental achievement and I'll be told I'm smart. And we forget that our bodies are these amazing tools for navigating how we feel, and we ignore them in order to get somewhere with our mental achievements and the physical things we can show people we've done. And so I'm going on massive tangents, but another thing that really helps me is actually listening to my body and going, well, how does my body feel right now? Okay, my body's saying no, my body's tight, it's stressed, it needs to, it needs to stretch and it needs to move. And so in general, I'd say a really big part of being a student and getting through is being able to stop and listen to my body, because my mind is able to push me and go, do more. You don't have time. You're never going to finish this. Actually, my body goes, I am not physically capable of doing this to the best of my abilities and enjoying it if I continue beyond this point. Another good method with actually studying is the Pomodoro method, which I've just recently started doing, which is long periods of working followed by short breaks. And what I usually do is 15 minutes and then a 10-minute break, 15 minutes, a 30-minute break. And the amount of work I get done using that method is unbelievable. I get so much more work done. And it's because when we don't take those little breaks, as I said, our bodies start working at, maximum capacity, and we aren't actually expressing how we want to because we're tired and we're also frustrated. There's a lot of inner conflict and not very much peace. And so I would definitely say that actually designating those breaks and going, okay, I'll give myself that moment, it just recharges you. And I mean, I've done a video on how to work better at a desk, but really just breathing, coming back into your body, moving around if you need to, and at the end of the day, knowing that we aren't answering to anyone. And I think that part of that external validation is being told in school that if you don't do the work, you're going to get in trouble and someone above you is going to tell you off, an authority figure of some kind. And we internalize all of these narratives and they become the internal voice of the critic telling us, if you don't do this, you're not going to be good enough. And actually realizing you are only answering to yourself always. And so the work that you do is completely based on how you value your own time, and no one's going to tell you off, and you're not going to be in trouble. And just realizing that safety in ourselves and going, yeah, I don't need to be hard on myself because I'm the only person that I'm doing this for. And then finding that love for the thing that you do, it actually just allows you to engage with the work much more readily. Like, I definitely feel that way, knowing that if I don't do it, then I am the only one that's be missing out, and it's okay not to do everything. I just think in general, quietening that voice of the inner critic and realizing where it's come from, realizing that that's a voice of authority that doesn't need to be there, can help us to actually just align with our creative expression more readily, and just to relax as well into the idea that we aren't doing anything for anyone else and this is for enjoyment and for pleasure, and to really acknowledge that work can be pleasure and we are alive to experience pleasure. And I recently listened to a podcast called My Body Is Not an Apology, and she spoke about how pleasure is one of the most radical things you can do, because that is telling society and the world, I am here to experience abundant pleasure and joy, and I'm not here to stress, I'm not here to be upset or to be apologetic about who I am. I'm here to enjoy my life. and and so just actually finding the joy in your work is another way of allowing it to stop being a real friction in a battle, because our bodies are also capable of experiencing such pleasure. And just as I said that, actually I started rubbing my kidneys, because that's a really, basically our kidneys, according to Chinese medicine, hold a lot of fear. And rubbing your kidneys, by rubbing my kidneys, it's sort of at the bottom of your back, just above your sort of buttocks area at the bottom of your back, rubbing your kidneys and allowing them to sort of um, move the process of digestion and removing waste from your body, that can help us feel very relaxed. And it's a very pleasurable feeling as well. So I would highly recommend it in general. But yeah, I mean, in general, my life, I think, especially over lockdown, I realized that my main focus is well-being and self-care. And how do I do that best for myself so I can translate it to other people? So I could really talk about it all day long because there are so many different things that I do to make myself feel good. But I think that in terms of it speaking to other people, a lot of it has to come from how you relate to a concept. So however you relate to pleasure or however you relate to, listening to your body is going to be so personal to you that if I were to tell you do this, this, and this, it might not translate in the same way as me giving the concept for you to then know exactly what that is for you and to go with it. Obviously, some people enjoy hearing what other people do because it's nice to get inspiration. And I mean, I meditate every day, I do yoga every day, and I wouldn't say, go and start doing that, but definitely giving yourself some time every day for even just 10 minutes, preferably in the morning when you haven't actually been bombarded with other people's energy and it's just you in your own space, giving yourself a time and acknowledging in that time that what you're doing is saying, I deserve a break and I deserve to rest and I deserve to look after myself. I think that's a major part in actually experiencing inner peace because it sort of it gives your body the message from the very get-go that you are not here to be in a rat race, you're here to experience yourself. And starting your day in that way, I think, is well, starting your day in any way is a really important sort of way to sort of set the tone. And if you start the day going, oh, I don't feel great, actually allowing yourself that little ritual every day to meditate, to do yoga, to calm down, it can change that gear so that even if you started going, I don't feel so great, you've also told yourself, I don't feel so great, so I'm going to give myself some time today to care for myself and to tell myself that I don't want to feel this way and it's okay to feel this way, but actually I'm here to transmute that energy. So yeah, I don't feel like I was very step by step about any of those things, but hopefully I translated some of that clearly and yeah, and that you got something from that because really this is a topic that is so close to my heart. And really my passion is to just help as many people as possible to relieve so many things that we've caught in our lives that we just don't need to help become the version of ourselves that we want to be. And to be fair, it's really important to realize that the things that come that we struggle with are also major parts of our healing and we're going to learn from. But when we recognize them, we say, thank you so much for being here. And that's what a part of shadow work. Thank you so much for being here, but I no longer need you in order to become who I want to be. Like, thank you so much to my anxiety. Thank you so much to my sadness, to my loneliness. But I recognize your part to play in my growth, and now I want to grow through pleasure. And that's the whole thing, going back to, your body is here for pleasure and we're here for pleasure. And once we've acknowledged the fact that actually we've suffered and things have been difficult, we can just bless that thing and thank that thing and, integrate it, release it. Shadow work is a really long, deep topic to go into, but it's something that I'm really interested in as well, which as I do more on myself, I realize that there are soft ways and beautiful ways to integrate the parts of ourselves that we aren't so proud of to really more fully release that inner conflict and just, self-love. Self-love is at the base of all of it. And I know it's a cliche, but really it's like telling yourself, wow, I'm so proud of myself. I love myself. Thank you so much, me, for everything I do every day. And I start the day with thanking, like I thank my life, I thank the creator for my life, but I also thank my body, thank you body for this earthly experience. um and gratitude is a big part of it as well. Yeah, gratitude for the fact that we are so privileged in so many ways. I think that can really be an amazing way to start the day. And I think that there's been studies done on how starting the day with gratitude can really affect your mental well-being throughout the day. But yeah, I'm not going to go into too many logistics because I think that that's not what I'm here to do. And hopefully, I translated some of the ways of dealing with your stress and in general in life. Finding a friend to actually just speak to, because I like to think of myself doing these things as someone who I'm just communicating like a friend. I'm not trying to be someone who knows any more than anyone else, but someone who can relate to people in a way of saying, I know exactly what is going on because I'm going through it. I'm a human on earth at this very time. Of course, I know what's happening. I'm not like this enlightened being that's come down to ordain my wisdom. I mean, maybe I have a little bit, but no, joking. But in general, it's like I know what it means to struggle, and that's why I want to help people so much, because I'm like, I'm doing so much to try and relieve that myself. So like, let's all do it. But yeah, the main thing is yeah, finding a friend to just offload to, but in a loving way, not to give them too much, but just to say, hey, I'm going through something, and to know that they're listening with their heart and that they want to give you that help. That's just another really beautiful thing. And obviously with COVID, we've been very extracted from that social interaction space. But as lockdown lifts and things kind of, get flowing again, I feel like we're all going to come into a communal space with open hearts and open arms. And I can just feel that already. The need to connect is getting so much stronger, and that's such a special thing because we're here to depend on each other and to ask for help, because it's not weakness or vulnerability. It is vulnerability, but it's showing a sign of humans are interdependent, and we're here to help each other and to grow with each other, and there's nothing to be ashamed of in struggling, and vulnerability is a really beautiful thing. So yeah, I think I'm going to end my little rant on that note, and let's do some meditation. I'm going to turn up my little speaker. So if you're not already, find a comfortable spot, and let's begin by checking in on our breath. Inhaling deeply, allowing our lungs to expand. Exhale, releasing everything from your body. Inhale, allowing your belly to expand, opening. Inhale. Exhale, allow your body to drop. Drop your head. Relax your spine. Deflate. Inhale, straightening up your spine, aligning. Exhale, dropping your shoulders down your back, and allowing peace to wave over your body. Feeling the inhale and exhale moving effortlessly in and out of your body, like a tide that draws up to the shore and then pushes back out again. And as you breathe in and breathe out, feel like a shore, your breath entering your body, a golden light of breath. And as this enters your nose, it begins to flood through your bloodstream, every cell in your body absorbing this incredible, warm, full light. And as you exhale, removing any tension, any anxiety from your being, from your cells, allowing this light to penetrate all of your being. And as you sit here and become gently aware of your body and your breath, become aware of the sounds around you. Maybe you can hear the music in the background. Maybe you can hear something happening around you. Just allow your body to become aware of these sounds and become aware of the fact that you are the observer of these sounds. You are the observer of all you're experiencing. And this awareness, this observance, still and at ease. And similarly, with any thoughts that come back into the awareness that you're watching these thoughts. You are not these thoughts. You are not your body. You are the calm, gentle awareness, watching everything happen around you. And as you become aware of these sounds and these thoughts, notice if there's any judgment coming up. And again, bring yourself back into the fact that you are the awareness. You are the stillness beneath it. And feel golden light coming down from your crown, from the crown of your head, which begins to gather at your heart space, cascading down your body like a waterfall. Imagine there's a bowl in the center of your chest, and this bowl begins to fill with golden light, with healing light. Breathe in, imagine this light is expanding around your body through this bowl, till a circle of light is around you. And feel how warm and embracing this light is and how relaxed your body feels. And as you breathe in and out, your chest glows brighter, the bowl glows brighter. And you feel how strong the energy in your heart is. And how much peace and stillness there is in your heart and in your entire being. Breathe in, breathe out, releasing all tension from your body. Noticing the tension and allowing it to gently release. And then slowly begin to bring awareness back into your body. Begin to softly move your hands, move your feet. Bring awareness back into your physical space, to what is around you. Without opening your eyes, becoming aware of the objects around you. And with this enhanced sense of peace, in your own time, gently open your eyes and find something to admire in your room. Find something to look at, and for a moment as you open your eyes, just look at that thing and observe it and give your full attention. Just experience gratitude for that thing. As you open your eyes and return to this space. I'm just gonna wake us up. Lovely. Well, that's the end of our short meditation and talk. If anyone wants to say anything, if anyone wants to share anything, be my guest.
I just feel relaxed.
Oh, great. I'm very glad.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for asking me to do it.
It's all right. I'll transfer this recording to you at some stage, or we can actually put it on our Facebook if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, cool. We can put it on the Facebook then. I finally figured out how to sort my recording situation, so that's good. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you so much for
No worries. No worries at all. Would anyone else like to say anything before we sign off?
I really liked what you said about taking breaks and letting yourself just not doing everything. I found that really powerful. And even like taking the time to take a nap even, or just to like sit down and not do anything, not necessarily meditating or being productive in any way, but just like
Yeah.
yeah.
So we kind of forget that actually, like, we can't just do things all day. You know? Yeah.
I also think with observing thoughts and experiences, like kind of remembering that you don't have to be completely wrapped up in your stress, that your stress doesn't control you and take over your life and your whole experience. You can kind of be a bit removed and see how it's an experience that you're having. You can look at as your identity, if that makes sense.
Exactly, definitely, completely. Yeah, it's so important. Yeah.
I think that thing you said about being here for pleasure and working for pleasure and changing your perspective on what work is. It doesn't have to be this stressful, pressurizing thing. Like, you can actually enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't have to be like this pressurizing thing all the time. I found that really helpful.
What was the method that you said? You said there's a method that you use to work and then take breaks. I can't remember what you called it.
The Pomodoro method.
Pomodoro.
Yeah, I think Pomodoro is tomato.
Is it a person as well?
It might be a person as well. It might just be a person. I don't even know. Yeah, but it was designed. It was created by an Italian guy, I think, and it's Pomodoro method.
Can you? What is it again?
Pomodoro method. I think that's how it is.
Did you say like 15 minutes working, half an hour break?
No, 50.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, 50, 50. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. The meditation.
Yeah. Very glad. Is this the first time you sat through, Seamus?
I'm sure you've done one in real life.
Oh yeah.
But first one over Zoom.
Yeah. And if you guys want me to send over the meditation I made today about releasing external validation, I can put it in the chat. Would you guys like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually just listening to it before we got on this, and it's really quite powerful. Yeah, there is. Yeah, so if you guys want to do more meditation, I mean, that's a bit different to this kind of meditation. It's a bit more, it's just different. You'll just see the style's completely different. But yeah, it's the first meditation I've done that I really had a personal experience with this specific issue and decided to make a meditation out of it. So I'm really I feel very connected to it, and I hope that people benefit from it in the same way that I've done with doing that work on myself. So yeah, check it out if you feel like it. Yeah, but I guess that's it. People have said what they need to say, all shared. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. It means so much to have people show up, you know? To just have people that are like, yeah, let's do this. Let's feel better. Yeah, and I hope that you just have an absolutely lovely evening, and yeah, and feel free to connect with me whenever you want. I'm always here to just be a hype girl for anyone who needs it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Right, I'll end
Thank
it
you,
here,
Mika.
guys.
Thanks, Mika.